Baruch Moren, Your Holiness, Your Beatitude, distinguished clergy, and to all of our MPs. Was glad to have some of my friends and colleagues from the State Department here and U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom. So I'm not going to say a whole lot. I don't have too much to say, but I just wanted to talk about, or Lars asked me to talk about some of the work that we're doing in Washington. But before we get into that, I do want to express my gratitude and my organization's gratitude to Mr. Aduktusan for all the work he's done for our people. And I think that deserves a round of applause. Before there, there's a lot of talk about the U.S. recognition of genocide, but before there was a U.S. resolution, there was an EU resolution, and that recognized the genocide against our people. And that really was the catalyst for action in the United States. On March 17th, the U.S. government, the Obama administration, recognized the genocide against our people. But before any of that, there was Lars and the work that he did on our behalf. So when we work in Washington on policy pertaining to Assyrian, Chaldean, Syriac people, we sort of do it in three basic categories. There's short-term, mid-term, and long-term needs. Short-term needs are things like seeking humanitarian assistance. One of the things that we've worked really hard to do that has been a struggle has been getting aid directly to people on the ground through our own organizations. When we talk about midterm needs, we talk about things like local security forces. In 2014, in the fiscal year 2015 National Defense Bill, we advanced an amendment that created that authorized local security forces in the Nineveh Plain. This was the first time that had happened in that context. And that was part of the counter-ISIL provision, which authorized money to go to our own security forces. That authorization was renewed in FY17, which is Washington jargon for saying through 2019 that authorization is still valid. So the authorization to support local security from the United States standpoint is legislatively legal, and so that is something that we have been working very hard to help our own security forces. And in the long-term sense, the most important thing, I think, for us to be able to remain in our ancestral homeland is the creation of a province in the Nineveh Plain. Through Article 125 of the Iraqi Constitution, this is a legally available and a legal opportunity for us to have some semblance of self-governance. From our perspective, we've always had the same question. I try to bring as many voices from our community to the leaders in Washington. And Mr. Aduktusan and others have joined me at the White House and the State Department and throughout meeting with senators and congressmen. The number one question we always get is, what does your community want? And there's always a lack of clarity about what our community wants. Different people come in every month and bring their representatives and meet with the State Department and say different things. What's so historic about what you did today is that you're no longer saying different things. We're asking for one thing. And having that unity is extremely important in the way that we interface with the United States government, with the European Union, and with others. So I just want to say, as an Assyrian, and when I say Assyrian, I mean Assyrian, Chaldeans, and Syriacs, I am proud and very grateful for all of you for having the courage to be here, for having the resolve to stick with the process. It's never easy. Finding consensus is not easy. It's really messy. This is a very difficult process, and I know, all of you face very difficult situations in your own country, a country that I don't live in. And so, I understand how much courage it took for you to do this, and I'm grateful to you. As an Assyrian, I'm grateful to you. So thank you. I'm happy to take any questions. I don't want to take too much time, but I just wanted to, Lars asked me to talk about some of the work we do in DC. But I want you all to know that we are here, as myself, as a Demand for Action. We're here for you. If there's ever anything, and I know I've worked with some of your colleagues and different political parties have, always come to us, and it's very rare that I would decline to talk to someone or support or help somebody if they came to us for it. So I'm here for all of you, and I'll answer any questions that anybody has. Please, Your Beatitude.
Thank you for giving me the... Last month we were in Washington, the three of us, Patriarch, we asked the Vice President, Mike Pence, what is the vision of the United States regarding the Plain of Nineveh? Now you are talking about the probability of a local security zone. Is it will be a province of, let's say, the whole Iraq, or it will be linked to the Kurdistan? That is the main question we have to get an answer to, because our people are scared for the future. What's going to happen between the central government and the Kurdistan region? And therefore, we need kind of question, what you are presenting or expressing or advising to the U.S. government. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Beatitude. That's a great question, and it's a really important one. But we have a word in, I think I don't know if it's Arabic or Sudeth, but we use the word bil-akis, right? Like we're doing things the other way. It's not for us to ask the U.S. government, what is your vision for the Nineveh Plains? It's for us to tell the U.S. government, this is our vision for the Nineveh Plain. So, beginning there, and I think that's always sort of been one of the, I don't want to say frustrations, but I mean, I'm born and raised in the United States. I've been in DC for 9 years. I've done this for a long time. I don't know any other way to do it than the American way. And so, it's really imperative on us to make clear what our demands are. And make no mistake, these are demands. We're not asking the US government for permission, or we're not asking Iraq for permission to live as Christians safely in our homeland. That is a demand, and it is their duty to protect that, not a favor that they're doing to us. So the U.S. has traditionally not taken they don't take a position sort of on whether we should be in one place or the other. From a legal perspective, the only legal mechanism for the creation of a province is Article 125 of the Iraqi Constitution and Article 140. So the notion of should a province be part of the Kurdistan regional government or the central government, I think is kind of a false premise insofar as the only legal province is approved by the parliament through the Iraqi Constitution. So I think you have to start there. If and when there were ever an independent Kurdistan, and I'll leave that to the Kurdish people to figure out, then I think you can have a discussion of should this be part of Kurdistan or not. But I think as far as, we have an Iraqi government and a constitution that gives us a clear legal pathway to assert our rights, and that's the one that we've always followed, and that's the one that we're going to continue to follow.
شكرا سيادة الرئيس. دعني أسأل أصيغ سؤال قداسة البطريق بشكل آخر، وقد سألته في السفارة الأمريكية في بغداد. بعد 14 سنة من فشل الكتل السياسية في إدارة العراق، والآن بعد انتهاء من معركة الموصل، جميع الكتل طرحت مشاريع. التحالف الوطني في بغداد بمعنى صح الشيعة طرحوا التسوية الوطنية، وقرأناه ورأيناه، هو ليس تسوية وطنية، هو فيه لا مركزية، هو فيه مركزية مركزة جدا ضد الدستور العراقي. إقليم كردستان، الكتل الكردية أيضا طرحت مشروع الاستفتاء على إقامة دولة كردية، والكتلة السنية أيضا يبغون بإقامة إقليم الموصل. أين نحن من هذا المشهد؟ هو هذا السؤال هكذا يصاغ، أين شعبنا من هذا المشهد في هذه المشاريع الثلاثة؟ وهذا السؤال وجهته إلى الحكومة الأمريكية ولم يجاوبوا علينا. شكرا.
I don't think that, I mean, I can't speak on behalf of, you know, any Iraqi people. I'm not Iraqi. So, you know, it's difficult for me to say what our position is on it. My position and the position of my organization is that, you know, we're not aligned with any political party, any individual denomination. We have people from all parties, all denominations in our organization. We take our cues from you. Our policy is whatever our people want, and our political parties are the representatives of our people. You know, you've given us a clear mandate in terms of what you want, and we respect that. And you know, but as far as like individual projects or what individual Iraqis or you know, our position on different projects that are not coming from our own community, we don't necessarily have a position on that. I will say I'm not entirely interested in what people in the diaspora have opinions on when it comes to what's best for Iraq. I think that those decisions are best left to the Iraqi people, and we will always respect your sovereignty and you know, your representation of our people.
تحية طيبة لكم، وأكرر شكري على هذا اللقاء المميز. اليوم نحن نعاني جميعنا من داعش، ومن وجهة نظري المتواضعة داعش هو نوعين: داعش ظاهري وداعش غير ظاهري، مرئي وغير مرئي. أنا باعتقادي داعش لم يكن وليدة اليوم. داعش العسكري من السهولة القضاء عليه، ولكن ما هو مؤسف هنالك دواعش في جميع الشرق الأوسط. هنالك أرضية خصبة لأن يكون داعش. البارحة كان قاعدة، واليوم داعش، وغدا لا نعلم ماذا سوف يخرجون لنا. علينا أن نفهم جيدا: من لا يقبل الآخر كما هو ويريد أن يصهره في ذاته هو داعش. من يخطب خطب متشددة أيا كانت، قومية كانت أو دينية كانت أو عرقية كانت، هو أسوأ من داعش. داعش موجودة في كتبنا، داعش موجودة في بيوت الله بعض منها، داعش موجودة في أزقتنا، داعش موجودة في حكوماتنا بعض منها. علينا أن نفكر كيف نتخلص من دواعش المستقبل. هل لدينا خطط مستقبلية كلنا؟ هل هنالك تعاون من أجل التخلص من داعش مستقبلا، سواء كان الاتحاد الأوروبي أو الطرف الأمريكي أو الجهات العراقية والشرقية بأكملها؟ نحن علينا أن نفكر بهذا جيدا لكي نتخلص من داعش.
البارحة تحدثنا عن المبادئ الخمسة التي نحتاجها لتأمين وضمان مستقبل أبناء شعبنا في سهل نينوى. لتفعيل هذه المبادئ، إذا خرجنا من هذه المبادئ أنا أتصور لن يكون هناك تحقيق للحقوق لأبناء شعبنا. قلت سيكون هذا المؤتمر مثمرا إذا تم الالتزام بتلك المبادئ الخمسة. الآن أتصور أن الحكومة العراقية، حكومة الإقليم، المجتمع الدولي، ممثلي الأحزاب والأقليات الموجودة هنا هم المسؤولون عن هذا الملف. لهذا أطلب أن تساعدوا الممثلي الأحزاب هنا بأن تكون هناك لجنة من الآن تأخذ مداها لفترة زمنية محددة ممثلة من هؤلاء جميعا، لأن هؤلاء هم المعنيين بالقضية. الطرف العراقي سيأتي بالحلول، الطرف الدولي نحتاجه يكون ضامنا لتحقيق هذه المبادئ، والتي هي إدارة المناطق سهل نينوى بأيادي أبنائها، اعتماد إحصاء 57 كما ذكرنا لتحديد الجغرافيا والسكان، إيجاد قوات أمنية عسكرية حسب نسبة السكان إلى نسبة أبناء القوات المسلحة، أيضا وجود ميزانية سنوية للمنطقة للتنمية المستدامة يجب أن تكون ثابتة. والنقطة الخامسة والمهمة هي ملاحقة الجنات الذين ألحقوا الإبادة الجماعية بحق أبناء شعبنا العراقي جميعا، وبالأخص بما ألحقه بالأقليات. هذه المبادئ الخمسة يجب أن تشكل من الآن، أنا برأيي، لجنة يكون المجتمع الدولي بحضراتكم هو الضامن لتحقيق هذه المبادئ، وإلا كأنه أتينا إلى النقطة نفسها إذا لم نعمل شيء ونفعل شيء. شكرا جزيلا. Thank you.
I'll start with the second question first and try to unpack some of this. I don't work for the U.S. government. I'm an advocate, and the principles that you're talking about, we've all been supporting for many, many years: self-administration, self-governance, security, reconciliation. I think what's unique about what happened at this conference is that has now been formalized into a single document by all the participants here. So I think it makes it much more likely that we're going to be successful when we have unity on these issues, when we're unified on these policies. We have moved legislation in the past on issues like reconciliation. We've, rebuilding. We've had legislation last year that supported demining in Iraq and demining in Khabur specifically. And, so we have a lot of legislation that I probably don't have time to talk about now that deal with issues like repatriation, reconciliation, security. The National Defense Amendment that we did in the 2015 fiscal year was a really, a really big one that sort of opened the door for a lot of things. And so, whether that has translated, how that has translated on the ground is a different matter. But, we certainly heed that concern. And as far as from myself and my organization, we just do our best to, to respect the will of the people of the Nineveh Plain and the people in Atra. So, we now have some consensus. Our friends at the State Department are going back with a sort of very clear mandate from all the attendees. So I think that's the best I can answer that question. But I appreciate your concern. We share it, and anybody here who knows me could attest to the fact that there's never been a time where I said no to one of our people. Anyone who needed anything, whether it's someone who needs a visa or people getting deported in Detroit or security in Iraq, we've always just done everything we could to help everyone. So and we're gonna do our best. To your point about and this is a really important one, which is why I wanted to answer it last. You talked about the next ISIS, right? This idea of how do we combat radicalism and extremism, which is a big problem. That's something that I don't know that the U.S. government is necessarily able to do if the Iraqi people themselves are not willing to do that. But I think one place that we can start is by changing some of the demographics and some of the ways that we approach politics ourselves. And I will say, and I'll leave it at this: if you want if you want more representation, or more, I should say, how do I put this? If you want more diversity, we can start with ourselves, maybe by including more women in your political efforts, because it has been almost all men here. I think from our perspective, we can start there. And so I'm going to leave it at that. And thank you so much for your time.